Unmasked, Episode 8, I Am the Storm You Didn't See Coming. There's this idea people have that leaving happens in one moment, that there is a final straw, a big, obvious, undeniable event, and that's when you walk away. But that's not how it works. Not when you've been living inside it. Not when your reality has been slowly shaped, controlled, rewritten. Leaving doesn't happen all at once. It happens in fragments, in quiet realizations, in moments that don't look dramatic from the outside, but feel deafening on the inside. And for me, there were a few moments that changed everything. One of them was so subtle, if you were listening from the outside, you probably wouldn't even notice it. He was talking about the future, like everything was normal, like we were a happy family, like there was something worth building. He said he wanted to take me and our daughter to Disneyland the next year for her birthday. And for a split second, that sounds like a nice thought, doesn't it? Something any family might plan. But then he said, if you're a good girl, you might even get an engagement ring. And I remember the exact feeling. Not excitement, not butterflies, not love. Stillness, that kind of stillness where your body reacts before your mind catches up. Because something about it wasn't right. It wasn't a proposal, it wasn't love. It was a condition, a reward system, like I was something to manage, something to train, something that had to behave correctly to earn affection. And in that moment, something in me woke up, because I didn't think, that's sweet. I thought, no, I don't want this life. No, I don't want to spend years trying to meet conditions that will always change. No, I don't want my happiness to be something someone else dangles in front of me. I didn't feel lucky, I felt trapped, and that's when it hit me. This wasn't a future, it was a continuation of control. But the moment that really shifted something in me was my son. I walked in and found him crying in his bed. Not just upset, he was scared. That quiet kind of fear, the kind a child shouldn't carry. His phone had been taken off him again, grounded, punished, controlled, for something so minimal it didn't even make sense. And he was panicking because he thought he hadn't finished his homework. Think about that. A child, in his own home, scared of getting it wrong, scared of consequences, scared of someone who should never have that power over him. I sat with him. I calmed him down. I gave him my laptop so he could finish what he needed to do. And in that moment, I wasn't just comforting my child, I was seeing the impact. Real, visible, lasting. The kind of damage that doesn't always leave bruises, but rewires how a child feels in their own home. And I remember thinking, I cannot let this continue. I messaged him about it, and he denied it. Straight away. Like it hadn't happened. Like I hadn't just seen it with my own eyes. And that's when you realize, it's not just control. It's manipulation of reality, it's rewriting truth until you question your own. But this time, I didn't question myself. Something in me settled. Not anger, not panic, certainty. I leaned into my son and I said quietly, I have a plan. And I meant it. Because in that moment, this stopped being survival. This became strategy. What he didn't realize was that while he thought he was in control, I was learning, quietly, carefully, strategically, because when you live in something like that long enough, you start to see it clearly. The patterns, the cycles, the lies, the denial, and I knew, if I ever tried to leave without proof, he would twist everything. So I started to store evidence, piece by piece, messages, moments, things that didn't sit right, things I knew one day I might need, not dramatically, not obviously, just enough. Because I wasn't just dealing with someone who hurt me. I was dealing with someone who would deny it, minimize it, and try to make me look like the problem. And I refused to let that happen. But I didn't keep it to myself, because silence is where people like that win. So I shared it with people I trusted. And even beyond that, because if the truth only lives with you, it can be buried. But if it lives in multiple places, it becomes undeniable. And slowly, without him even realizing, the control started to shift. Because while he thought he was managing everything, the walls were closing in, quietly, strategically, inevitable, And I made a decision. I would not be threatened into silence. I would not be manipulated into staying quiet. And I would not be tricked into doubting what I knew. Not anymore. Because the truth is, I had known for a long time this had to end. That feeling doesn't come overnight. It builds. It sits with you. It follows you. This isn't right. This isn't safe. This isn't the life you want. But knowing and being ready are two different things. Because leaving isn't just walking away. Sometimes it means risking everything, your stability, your safety, even your life. And I wasn't prepared to lose my life to escape his. So I waited until I could do it properly, until I could do it safely, and until I could do it in a way where I wasn't just leaving, I was ending it. I brought in a professional, someone who understood what this really was. I told a friend, because I knew I couldn't do it alone. And together, we planned it carefully, quietly. He had a week where everything was already in motion, even if he didn't know it. That final night, I told him it was over, and he didn't believe me, because people like that never do. They think they've broken you just enough to stay. But this time, I wasn't asking, I wasn't hoping, I wasn't waiting, I was done. And going to the police wasn't about revenge, it was about protection. For me, for my children, because I finally understood, if I didn't stop it, it would never stop. I didn't go because I felt strong. I went because I had to be. Because when it stops being just about you, you act differently. You think differently, you choose differently. And that was it. Not loud, not dramatic, but final. I didn't want a future with him. I wanted a life. And what he didn't realize was, while he thought he had control, I had become something else entirely. I am the storm you didn't see coming.